Plan of action is, got a big steel going in here. So we've opened a little access hole here to see which ways the joists are running. And we would have put all our money on it that it's going that way. And the plan was put a nice strip through, cut the timbers at the floor, top, acro it up. We can prep it all, put the hangers on it, put the steel with the timber on, and that'd be a good way to pop all the ceiling. But all the joists are running all the way that way, and I can see all the way through. So now we could just patch it in, and now we're on the outside working out the next phase to get the steel in. Right, plan of action. Steel's going in, so we're prepping. Brickwork, timber work. Now we've put level through and worked it all out, and it's within 3 mil. So Harry's marked it from the centre point and levelled on and all the way across, and we want this steel to be 6 mil lower than the joist line, so the joist is 6 mil higher, just to allow for any shrinkages. And I want the floorboards to run over and connect the new to the old. So I put timber logs, a bit of timber into the timber, put another timber on top, and we've gone through that with some long timber logs. So it's got 3 fixings in every stud. We're going to cut through these, put a plate in. Once we've got our strong boys up, holding it in, we're going to get it out, board it up, and then when the steel comes in the morning, the steel's going in. So we've got these steels, they arrive Saturday morning, and we're ready to put them in this week. Now, I don't like getting too involved with steels. Don't mind putting them in place, drilling the holes so the bolts and the hangers don't clash. It's really important. You need to get the main steel through, so when a knock through comes through the landing, that all the joists are at the right height. The second thing which is important is we're working from the end result back, because I need to know how my Mansard roof works and the wall to support that roof. And we're going to drill them ourselves so we can position it. And this steel here is the lintel. All my window and door frames all be the same height, but I was really concerned and I want to double check that we can get the door open if we want. And if I get the screed to go up the bottom of the door frame, it allows me 30 mil just in case they want an engineer floor. So as it stands at the moment, all looking good. Busy 2 days, well chuffed. Got the steels in, cut them to length, done the mag drills, so none of the bolts hits on the hangers. Got the 2 steels connected. We had to work a part of the roof out to get that in the right place. They're drilled out, all the hangers are going to miss, the bolts. And as you come round, got steel in, got another 1 plate at the top, all underneath, shall I say. And now all these will be in line, 300 centre joists. All the way through, ceilings down, goes all the way through, and then we've started marking the plates for the external timber frame build, and then all ready to go. Lovely job. All right, the plan of action is, we've got another steel coming out here to take the wall of the Mansard roof. So we're working our way through the build and back. So I've got the pitch for both sections of this roof. And I've cut 1/3 out and 1/3 out. I've held that at the very top, right where that wire is, typical. Levelled all the way down. And this is where that wall's going to go. So imagine a stud wall here, all the way to the top. Taking in 2 rafters. That's exactly how we did it. Now we're going to get this steel put in. Check this out. So basically the roof goes to the inside of the existing brickwork. And we need to move our walls in, but I wanted to match on the outside. So what we've done is we put a pole plate in. We've sat the rafters there to match the existing. We've bird's mouthed. I've not just done a plumb cut at the top, we've done a bird's mouth. So basically some of that weight will come down onto the steel. We'll spread that weight load. And that'll work out well. And what we'll do is, matching the existing, we will put little sprockets in to kick the bottom of that roof out. And we'll make that work at the bottom. Couldn't get the height to match next door, and I still want to get the linen on. So what we did is we took the second plate out to lift that up higher, because what I want to do is I want all the windows, the new and existing, to go in line. In fact, if anything, it's got to come down 15 mil, but I will let the window fitter know, and I've allowed for that in my opening size, because I don't want them to measure to it, I want them to be all in line. But if anything, I like a gap all the way around the window. It gives us half a chance when the outside and you're doing the cladding, and
the cheeks don't take up too much of the reels. I also like the expanding foam in there. One, it's thermal and it's less draft, but if the windows get slammed, it's less likely that all the plaster's going to crack because it's got a solid foam fixing all the way around. And also, yet again, plasterboard go tight against the wall and it doesn't take up the jams. Just a decent job. Right, so what I've done is, once we've worked out the plate across, level the line all the way through on the blockwork, come down 10mm, we've grinded it out, we took this side of the roof down. So basically we went over the top of it and now we're going to dry pack it. When I apply it, it'll be at the same level. And when you counterbatten the whole lot, the cladding will go right over. And when it comes to the inside, because I don't want cracks, what we do is put the timber wall out 10 extra 10mm, dot and dab across the whole lot. This way, the window doesn't have to come out. We save on a skip and we don't have to remove all the plumbing. So it works out all round. Yeah, oh, and the windowsill works perfect by the time I get to cladding. Just things to think of. Right, I've got a quadruple here. I'm supposed to take the weight of the ridge, but I've moved it to one side for good reason. I've got hips coming in at the end of my roof and I want my rafters and my hips and everything all tied in. And the issue I've got is I've got to support the old roof and the new roof. So I could cut this back and put a 4x2 post all the way through the stud wall, all the way through the bottom of the steel. But it's only sitting on 50mm. Is it right, is it wrong? The joist sits in a hanger 50mm. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to support the old ridge all the way through, so that's done. Now, how am I going to get over this and do this? So I'm going to put another 4x2 here, and then what I'm going to do is do a little stud wall to pick up the ridge. It is absolutely over the top, but I've got to cover myself. And when you come over here, 4m span, and we've got to put a quadruple in here to pick up the ridge, which is an 8x2. Okay, what we've done here in this section is brick wall through here. We've bedded a plate on, so straight and level. We've run the joists across off the double, so we're going to try and run our rafters down the side and bolt them in. We may have to put a pole plate, but I haven't come to that yet. So it's a hipped roof. So what we wanted to do is cut them in to take the weight of this roof slightly, because there was a bow in the roof, so we try to take that out so it doesn't get pools of water on the flat roof. And over here was slightly different. Where we've got a plate coming all the way through, there's not enough brickwork in here to get chem fix. And I didn't feel comfortable just fixing into the ends of the joists. So I fixed into the ends of the joists and we've cut a piece of timber, scribed to the back of the brickwork, and we've bolted through so the weight of that holds it. Just trying to tie it in as best as we can everywhere. What I've done is I've made a little block with my drill hole in. And what I've done is, I've done this on my Mansard rafters before I even put these joists in. So they're there, I can drill right through. And so on the bigger ones, where it's difficult to get into, I can do one side and the other side, and them holes should match if I use my pattern. I've got rafters to go in here, so it's going to be really tight to get them in, even with the angle drill. So what I'll do is, once my rafters come in, if I'm struggling, I'll put that in the hole first, and then I've got room to get my drill in, do it up the side, and away I go. Easy like that. So the plan is with this, we've got this quadruple that's supposed to take the ridge, but I actually want this rafter going in, so my hip is tied in both sides of the rafter. So it does pick up the ridge next to it. And over here, what I've done is, instead of having an internal hip, which isn't sitting down on a plate, we're just going to do normal rafters. And because we've got the quadruple going in there, which picks up the post of the ridge, we're going to lean the rafters into the hanger. That way, that will stop the spread of this roof here. That ties it all in. And over the back here, we had to do it a little bit differently. We've got a pole plate coming across, but the rafters will go down. They're hit into the timbers against the wall, and we're going to bolt them to the joists. So it works out really well. Why have we done it like this with a lay board? We could have done it with an internal hip. Now with an internal hip, with an open plan, great. I do like an internal hip when it's sitting down on a plate, but the way this comes, it will hit a wall. And what's the point? Reason being, we put all the rafters going down into a hanger, which is against the quadruple. The quadruple's there to pick up the
post for the ridge. Now that just stops the spread. And now with a lay board going on top, putting all the rafters down, or jack rafters on that lay board, is solid. It ties it all in nice, and that's a better job. A little bit of a different detail. So what Charlie's done is he's tried to match up with the existing roof, the new roof. So he's cut a little triangle in to go with the shape. You follow that through the joists. We didn't cut it all the way down, we left this bit on because the face is going to get fixed there, and we want to leave as much strength as possible in those joists. The way this has worked out is by the time we put the ply battens and the cladding on the wall, it's going to be past the fascia line. So instead of having a silly lead dressing, we're going to take off all the guttering and the fascial soffit, extend it out slightly, and then what we'll do is the cladding will butt up to the fascia. So it's the best what we can do. And that way the tiles can still go into the guttering, and that'll be nice and consistent, and that'll work out well. Right, windowsill detail. So working out these openings for the screed. What I didn't want to see is the screed and the frame sitting on top, nor did I want to see it the other way where it's sunk in and the screed right up to the glass line. So I've worked it out so it comes 30mm down, because that keeps your options open. So if there's any engineering flooring going on there, there's room for movement in the future. Also, the laser leveled right through for the windows, because we've got steel in here and the window opening is there, slightly different, but we put a line through. Reason being, when they put the windows in, I want them to go to that line. So when we do the cladding on the outside and we cut around the windows, they'll all look parallel, and it'll be good for the plasterboard lines on the inside. Mansard roof dormer. First thing we did is got all our measurements from the existing and followed them back through and double checked. I want to make sure the window size is exactly the same, and I've got to think about my makeup on the front. So when I level them through, I know that I may have render on the front, or it may be lead, and then we can apply it. But either way, I've allowed 20mm back, then I leveled up, and that's where this starts. And all I did was held it up there level, we scribed it and put it in. The height worked really well with a 4x2 and a 1/3 burst mount on the rafters. So I just took the notch out, so it was like 95 by 95. Double checked its level around the other side. Now we put a line through, and what we'll do is level up and measure off that line. Cut all the bird's mouth out, put the lintel in, and that will be our dormer. Mansard dormer roof. Now, infilled it like this. So we've done stud wall light to take the weight of the window, and then we've cut them like furrings, like so here. The reason being is, instead of running down the side, the weight's going against the wall. Also, you can get the Celotex in there, so you haven't got to cut around it. And we've cut this to the shape of the roof, because this is all going to be battened out and tiled and lead. So we've done it like you would a roof. So slightly different, but that was the reasons behind it. Okay, this is a nice little detail. So we put the backing board up as like we always do, keep it all straight for fixing points. This works out 1.5 here, last point. Now this one we've done 40mm bigger. Why have we done that? Well, I'm trying to think about how the fascia and soffit's going to look and how it's going to work underneath. We've got 40mm upstand here. So you'll have the fascia and soffit, 40mm upstand on the fascia. We'll mitre that, and then when it comes to soffit, it'll work out with a lip, so it looks continuous all the way up, mansard roof, and all the way round. Even down a backing board here where the dormer is, just ties it all in, looks nice and neat. Trays in the valley. I always number and hang on. So I broke this roof down in as many parts as I can, so people can see and understand the reasons how we think like we do. And they're all going to be put on a YouTube, all on my YouTube channel, with all of them put together like I do on every roof. Pleased with this, looks really good, a lot of detail.